Hello, my name is Dr. Alan Unruh, and I have an optimistic message for America in my new book, The Politically Incorrect Book of Humor: Why It's Better to Be Right Than Politically Correct. It has over 2,500 jabs on over 150 subjects regarding life and politics. Humor is a universal language in every culture. I'm going to try not to be like that preacher who got sick and an Obamacare nurse made a mistake and put a barometer down his throat instead of a thermometer, and the reading came out windy and dry. I want to warn you that the last time I gave a monologue, I was so good that half the crowd got up to go get their friends. The other half were glued to their seats. I thought it was a novel idea. But with my vast experience, I want you to know I've had the honor to speak in front of 4 presidents. Unfortunately, it was Mount Rushmore. I went to school to develop my wit, but unfortunately only was able to attend half the classes. But I guess it's still better than a dimwit or a nitwit. When I die, I guess I'll be at my wit's end. I lined my daughter once up with a stand-up comedian. He never showed up. You might say she got stood up by a stand-up. But there is one good thing about comedy. If you fail, at least you don't have a bunch of people laughing at you. Winston Churchill once said, "Wit is a sword. It is meant to make people feel the point as well as see it. It's the salt of conversation, not the food. The right words or one-liner on key issues can make your point quickly. This book will show you how to flavor your ideas with wisdom and humor. Laughing is the shortest distance between two people." I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said, "Honk if you believe in anything." Now that describes a major problem in America. People don't know what they believe. I organized an apathy rally the other day and nobody showed. People today are starting to take comedians seriously and politicians as a joke. I'm from South Dakota, which is the only state that shoots its state bird. We're the land where the buffalo roam. We're known as people who let the chips fall where they may. There's a committee to put Donald Trump on Mount Rushmore because they said his head's already the right size. People need to take the bitter with the sour. It's getting rough. I called Dial-A-Prayer the other day. They put me on hold. Gucci is starting to sell tighter belts. Economic times are getting so rough. I've read about a polygamist had to go back to one wife. See, this book will not bore you with a bunch of government statistics because according to research, government statistics are only accurate 29% of the time. Nothing confuses a political statement more than its clarification. Communication is critical. I had a patient the other day said, "Doctor, I want you to tell me in plain English what's wrong with me. I don't want any of them scientific terms." I said, "You're fat and lazy." He said, "Now use scientific terms so I can tell my wife." This country used to have Bob Hope and Johnny Cash, and now there's no hope and no cash. Will Rogers said he never met a man he didn't like. Well, liberals never met a tax they didn't hike. I got plenty of money for taxes. It's food, clothing, and shelter we're struggling with. Preparing your own taxes nowadays is kind of like do-it-yourself mugging. Times are a-changing. When I was a kid, the only bad thing on TV was the reception. That was kind of snowy. Now I went to my first X-rated Western. Even the wagons weren't covered. I mean, it's getting rough. There's a big argument today regarding socialism and capitalism. The reason the Russians are so fast in the Olympics is they use real bullets in their starting guns. Socialism promises to raise suffering to a higher level. A socialist is a person who likes what he doesn't have so much, he doesn't want you to have it either. Ronald Reagan said if we socialized the Sahara Desert, in 2 years we'd be importing sand. Nobody wants to work twice as hard to make less and have less. But socialism only works in 2 places, he said. Heaven where they don't need it, and hell where they already got it. You're going to enjoy this book and give it to your friends and neighbors and employees and employers, people who feel like you do, on how to communicate the conservative message. Go to MakeAmericaLaughAgain.com. Thank you.